Since its inception, the Tournament for Tomorrow has played host to some of the most talented independent wrestlers in the world. Through various format changes and shifting lineups, each tag team that has won the Tournament for Tomorrow has had to face a unique and challenging path to victory every time. The first Tag Team Tournament for Tomorrow took place on November 30th, 2014. In the first round, Beyond's resident detectives in Bill Carr and Dan Barry, Team Tremendous, squared off against Chuck Taylor and a debuting Orange Cassidy, replacing Trent. Much of the match plays out with Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy using their unique approach to wrestling to bamboozle Team Tremendous. Orange Cassidy in particular is capable of lulling Team Tremendous into a false sense of security that allows Cassidy to create openings for offense. In fact, Orange Cassidy's cleverness and skill at evasion makes him a very difficult opponent to pin down. A miscalculation between Cassidy and Taylor allows Team Tremendous to hit the sliced bread doomsday device for the win. After another strong victory in the semifinals round, Team Tremendous would go on to the finals to face one of the greatest tag teams of all time, the Young Bucks. The Bucks wasted no time going on the offensive, attacking Beyond's resilient detectives at the bell and spilling the fight to the outside of the ring. The Young Bucks don't mind playing dirty, showing why they're one of the most accomplished and dangerous tag teams to ever grace the squared circle. A Frankensteiner off the top rope finally gives Barry the chance to tag in Carr to even the odds. Team Tremendous finally nails the sliced bread doomsday device, but the Young Bucks aren't above abusing referees to stay in the fight. The Bucks get too cocky though, and a miscommunication while threatening a third referee gives Team Tremendous the opening to hit the sliced bread doomsday device again to win the match and the first ever Tag Team Tournament for Tomorrow. Running on the same weekend as Tournament for Tomorrow 3, however, was yet another tag team tournament. The TFT 316 saw 16 teams vie for a spot in the 4-way elimination finals on the Tournament for Tomorrow 3 card. In the opening round, Drew Gulak and Biff Busick find themselves taking on the team of Brutal Burgers. There's a vibe of friendly competition in this match. Despite a good showing from Brutal Bob and Cheeseburger, Gulak needs just a tiny opening to grab a Dragon Sleeper down on the mat for the submission victory. The second round is far less friendly as Devastation Corporation takes the fight to Busick and Gulak from the jump. The match starts as an all-out fight on the floor, allowing Devastation Corporation to get the early advantage and isolate Busick in the ring. When Busick finally gets to tag out, he and Gulak show that they are some of the most skilled and explosive wrestlers anywhere. A big crossbody off the second rope gives Busick the pinfall, advancing him and Gulak to the finals at Tournament for Tomorrow 3. In the finals, Busick and Gulak would find themselves in a 4-way elimination match against Milk Chocolate, the Garden State Gods, and the Ninjas with Altitude. After an eventful first half of the match, the Garden State Gods eliminate Milk Chocolate from the match. Milk Chocolate have a chance at redemption at this year's Tournament for Tomorrow, however. Can they finally get to the top of the mountain almost 7 years after their first attempt? The Garden State Gods look to continue their onslaught until the Crusade for a Change come out to distract them. This is enough for Shinron to put my quest down for the 3. With the match down to 2 teams, Kitsune and Shinron both showcase some absolutely spectacular high flying, using their speed and agility to go after the grapplers. NWA get close on multiple occasions, but one mistake allows Gulak and Busick to smash their opponents into each other for the victory. The Hit Squad started Tournament for Tomorrow 4 in a chaotic 4-team opening round match against Devastation Corporation, the Viking War Party, and the Beaver Boys. The match is wild and out of control from the get-go, but through it all, Mouth and Mac stand out for their insane power and surprising agility. In the end, it's a sick burning hammer from Moth that earns them a spot in the finals of the tournament the following night. In the finals of the tournament, the Hit Squad found themselves in an elimination match against Kimberly and Shinron, as well as two teams representing Team Pazuzu, the Doom Patrol and EYFBO. While the two teams from Team Pazuzu look to use their numbers to their advantage, they are eventually maneuvered into having to face each other in the ring. Tensions rise between them, but a mistimed moment of reconciliation allows Kimberly and Shinron to go on the offensive. A beautiful alligator clutch from Kimberly on Jaka eliminates the Doom Patrol from the match. Incensed, Dickinson attacks Kimberly with a chair, which in turn allows EYFBO to eliminate Lee and Shinron. EYFBO show no fear in taking the fight to the much larger veterans. The Hit Squad's ferocity and brute strength soon takes over though. Despite a defiant display from Mike Drastic, Monster Mac is able to hit a murderous Rainmaker to get the victory. 2018's Tournament for Tomorrow would return to the single elimination format. In the first match of the tournament's opening round, Alex Reynolds and John Silver of the Beaver Boys began their journey to prove that they were the tag team aces of Beyond. In the first round, they go up against Flip Kendrick and Lewis Linden, Aeroform. Silver makes it clear early that the Beaver Boys aren't afraid to play dirty by going for the eyes. True to their name, Aeroform take to the skies to mount most of their attack. Kendrick takes one risk too many, however, and gets caught in the Beaver Boys' devastating tag team finisher to get them the victory. The following night, the Beaver Boys were set to take on Milk Chocolate in the second round. A vengeful pair of Mike Verna and Rex Lawless, who were screwed out of the tournament, came out to put a beating on Milk Chocolate and inserted themselves into the tournament match instead. Despite their size and strength advantage, a timely distraction to the referee from Reynolds allows Milk Chocolate to retaliate against Lawless. This lets the Beaver Boys drop Verna for the pinfall to advance them to the semifinals. In the semifinals, the Beaver Boys found themselves up against Jake Parnell and Alex Harzog of the Viking War Party. Parnell and Harzog get the early advantage with their raw power, but Silver and Reynolds' ring awareness allow them to isolate Parnell on their side of the ring. Harzog gets the proverbial hot tag, which allows the Viking War Party a brief respite. Silver counters a tag team combination to send Parnell and Harzog crashing into each other though. From there, the Beaver Boys hit their finisher to advance to the finals. In the finals, the Beaver Boys find themselves against the highly technical team of Hot Wheels, Wheeler Yuta, and the independent wrestling champion at the time, Tracy Williams. The Beaver Boys attack from the jump, leading to Reynolds driving Hot Sauce's shoulder into the apron while hitting a combination tope brainbuster on Yuta. Even when Hot Sauce gets to tag in, his injured shoulder is a consistent weak point that Reynolds and Silver exploit. Combined with their willingness to play dirty, the Beaver Boys are able to secure their place as the tag team aces of Beyond Wrestling. In the first all-women's tag tournament for tomorrow, the Bird and the Bee, Willow Nightingale and Solo Darling found themselves wrestling in the opening round against Team Black and Blue. The Bird and the Bee put in a very strong showing here, controlling much of the proceedings with a mix of submission wrestling and heavy striking. A combination pump handle slam and moonsault called Fight or Flight get them the victory. In the semifinals, the Bird and the Bee go up against Team Adams, Karen Q and Tasha Steeles. A heated altercation between Solo and Karen gives Willow the opening to grab a crucifix pin on Tasha to advance the Bird and the Bee to the finals. In the finals of the tournament, Solo and Willow find themselves up against the Twisted Sisters, Holliday and Thunder Rosa. Rosa makes it clear early in the match that she and Holliday don't consider Solo and Willow to be on their level. Fittingly, this is the most competitive of the matches the Bird and the Bee have had to fight all night. The Twisted Sisters take sadistic enjoyment in isolating Willow Nightingale from her partner and punishing her. The match gets so tense that the action breaks out into a brawl into the crowd that sees all four women fighting on top of the bar at Electric Haze. A single mistake ends up giving the Bird and the Bee the opening to hit Fight or Flight and become the first ever female winners of the Tournament for Tomorrow. The Bird and the Bee are one of the 8 teams entering this year's Tournament for Tomorrow. While the Hoss Goddesses made quick work of their field in WWR, can they repeat the same success as the only all-female team in this year's lineup? With imposing pairs like 40 Acres and Rex Lawless and Mike Verna in the field this year, the path to success could be more difficult than ever for Willow Nightingale and Solo Darling. It'll certainly prove their tag team superiority if they can win both the WWR and Beyond Tournament for Tomorrows. If there's anything that the Tournament for Tomorrow has taught us over its history, it's that there's a variety of ways to win. Whether it's technicality or raw power, heart-filled determination or cunning cheating, only the very best can make it all the way to the top. Find out who'll win this year's iteration of the Tournament for Tomorrow only here on Beyond's signature series, streaming only on IWTV. I've been Joseph Montecillo, and if you want to see more of me breaking down pro wrestling from the past and the present, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Joseph Montecillo YT.